klar, alles klar.
Alles klar, very good. So I just started the recording. Um, Hello, J.R. Kensington. Thank you for joining me today. It's really funny because we're going to talk about it in a moment because you're in Gothenburg and I just talked with somebody else in Gothenburg today. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience and say who you are, what you do in your band, and maybe a little bit about your musical backstory so that we know where you're coming from music-wise?
You want to start?
Yeah, I want to start. Hello. Wie geht's du denn? We are J.R. Kensington. My name is J.R. Kensington, and this is my guitar player,
Spike.
Yes, Spike. So we are like a rock and roll band, almost, not really rock and roll, but sort of that thing. And from Gothenburg, Sweden. We've been around for almost 2 years now. If you can count this year, which just was like a year, because the time has just stopped, like everybody knows, the last year. So we could say that we've been around for 1 year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and what do you want to know about us?
Maybe a little, because from what I know already a little bit about your backstory, so I don't want to give away too much, but if I would have just found you like this, I would know by the music you're making that this is not your first project. This is not, you have not fallen from the sky and just started to make music. So there is a backstory, there is a way where you went to the point where you are now. So maybe give us a little bit from your musical upbringing, what you learned, what's kind of your first love of music, and what kind of brought you to the moment where you are right now in your career.
So in 2018, I saw an ad online for a band searching guitarists, and I played guitar for a year or so. So I thought, hey, what can go wrong?
No. It was like 2016.
Yeah,
76. Okay, go. Sorry.
Anyway, so I found the ad online, it's a 1-hour drive, and I thought, it can go good, it can go bad. Let's just do it. And so I drove 1 hour away to Halmstad in Sweden, and I found these two guys at the time.
Yeah, 2 guys.
It was a kind of unique sort of death metal band with some other influences, and we had a tryout. It didn't go very well.
For whom? For you?
Yeah,
For you, it didn't went very well. I see.
I only played for maybe a year, but so it went very bad. I got home and I thought, I'm not letting this go. So I put on my phone and I learned the song we rehearsed, and I sent a video back. And they thought, this guy is pretty good, handsome, tall, and amazing. So they came back and said, let's try this out.
Yeah, because we were a metal band called Arkaid for like 2 years before Spike entered the band, and by then we had like 2 guitar players before you arrived, and then and you came in, and he was this, like, I don't know what, 18 years old, 17 years old child, and he was like just started playing guitar, and me and the bass player, we talked like about it, like he really like strikes me as the type, you all know this type, everyone who's in the music industry know this type, like a person who starts playing guitar pretty old, and you can see that this person is going to be really good at guitar in like 1 year. And I played guitar since I was like 7 years old, and I know he was probably going to be better than me in like 1 or 2 years. So we were like, okay, let's do it, let's try it. And then he was in the band, and we continued with that band for maybe 2 years after Spike entered, and then we decided it was time to go on. Me moving to Gothenburg, which we live now, and I started to do this solo project, which is J.R. Kensington. and I asked Spike if he wanted to be in it.
Yeah.
And there we are.
Yeah,
The rest is history.
Yeah. So, first of all, I completely understand this because, this is one of the reasons I stopped making music, because there's so many people out there who are much better than me. So why should I bother? I still do some singing, but this is my where I'm okay. But anyway, so I completely know what you're talking about. There's just some natural talent you can feel. You can see when somebody, even if he's not good, there's something between the lines, between the notes that you can feel that seeps out of a performance, and I completely get that. And I also, because I tried to do some research because before I talked with you, so I already knew that there was Arkaid before, and even one of the songs I found you with, to answer your question you asked me before we started the recording, was Falling Down. And this was an Arkaid song, as far as I know. There's a metal version of it, and it's actually quite good. And but when you, it's really good. Let's put it this. Why be shy? It's the best song ever. Yeah, right on. It was so good, man. Anyway, funnily enough, this is the song I found you, but I found you in the J.R. Kensington variant. In the more bluesy. So this is actually a quite a strange transition. I think it's cool because I now that I know that, I couldn't put my finger on it why this song was so different, because my theory is because you came from the different angle. Usually you start with a blues song and then you make it a little bit more heavy, maybe, but this was a heavy song and you made it more bluesy, more down to earth, but it retained, of course, its metal core. Let's put it this way, there's a skeleton in it that's kind of has the oomph in it. So because I found you. My main target, I have a radio show, I'm a radio DJ, I have a Spotify playlist and, a few things. My main focus is on dark wave, gothic rock, and industrial metal. So, in a way, you don't really belong here. but to say it musically, your music struck a chord with me. There was something in there that was not just. I don't want to say it in a bad. I love blues, but mostly blues is old man, kind of having a hobby, sitting like you guys having now having a beer, and just having an excuse to get away from home, to sit with the boys, play a few tunes, and get hammered, and this is what most blues is. I know there's more to it, and of course I know from historically, like Black Sabbath or something, this made metal possible. So anyway, I just wanted to describe that your song was kind of, I don't know, it doesn't fit to my oeuvre, to say, to my genres I usually play in my playlist or in my radio show, but this one was so, there is something in there, between the lines, and
that's
very, very nice to hear. Thank you.
We get asked that a lot, actually, that the question, what music is this? It's not rock, it's not blues. So what is this actually?
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Kensington here, he has this unique way of singing where people think it's growling, but we don't agree. Mm-hmm. It's not growling, it's not singing, it's somewhere in between. And he's very unique in his way of writing songs and stuff.
Oh, that's very
cute
of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that was like the big thing with the transition. Did you say œuvre when you said
Oeuvre, yeah. So sorry, was it the wrong word? But I think it's the right word. But my realm where I usually live is more dark wave, gothic, and industrial, and
oh,
and
yeah.
and you fit in there somehow. But I couldn't find why. That's what was my point. Now that I
I get
found
it.
the metal skeleton in the basement, or no, in the how you say it, the skeleton in the
Core.
closet. In the closet, that's it.
The skeleton of the closet, yeah.
Now I know why it struck me, because it was so it there was something more than just the blues to it, and also, like Spike just said, with the voice. First, I was like, huh. To be absolutely honest, I was like, okay, there's somebody really trying to be cool and have a cool voice, and and pressing a lot. But when it was like, but it fit quite well, and it was not just for showing off. Just that you understand me, where I'm coming from. I get a lot of music submissions, from young bands, and they kind of want to look heavy, and when we scream a lot or growl, and it looks so for me like chest pounding of little apes, and yeah, exactly, and it's like, so okay, I mean, we already established that I'm the oldest here in this round. So I get it, there is young kids and they need to do punk and they need to get it out of their system. Fine.
Yeah.
But it was not you, it was like, it was not that you kind of had to show off something or so. There was a method to, I mean, it was not, how you say, it fit to the song, and it kind of needed to be there to make it the way it is. It's hard to describe, but it's not that you're just doing it for show off. That's the point I'm trying to make. It made the song. It needed to be there. Let's put it this way. The song needed that to make it something special, and yeah. So, but first I have to admit, I was like, okay, yeah, he's really pressing it and stuff, and then, but I listened to it again, and it was like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool, like, I don't know, I'm from Germany. Rammstein has this rolling R, and nobody talks like this in Germany, So
Yeah.
so first when you hear it, it's like, huh, what is this? It's kind of, you can make fun of it. But when it fits the music, and it's kind of, it makes it to something special, and for this music it's fitting, and so it's with your music, it's quite fitting, and it makes it also, I guess this, it makes you stand out of a crowd, and
Yeah, that's the main thing.
yeah, it's not. We're back to what I said about the belly guys, who sit in the basement and play some blues. Yeah, and so and you have some more to offer, and that's really cool.
Yeah, when we talked about as you spoken about age, I have two things to say, but both about Rammstein. That is my favorite band of all time.
You got a Rammstein tattoo.
Yeah,
really?
I got
Okay,
two Rammstein tattoos. They are my favorite bands of all time. But I told before that I know a little bit German, both because I studied it in school and because I listen so much to Rammstein. I think very many people know like some phrases in German because they listen to Rammstein. And the thing I was going to say about age is that when we started to make the music and people started to listen to it, and we got like messages because we made our first music video this winter in like January, maybe.
Yeah, maybe December.
January, February
probably.
February, yeah, for the song "The Game," and we got a lot of messages telling us that they were very surprised that they thought the singer was going to look a bit older.
Biker. Like a biker dude.
Like a fat, good old biker dude with a good beard. And
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah, but how we like transform from the metal part to this more, as you say, more bluesy part of that is because this kind of singing that we have in the band right now, I wasn't able to do in the band before that. Then I just could control the growling phase of the singing, and then when I like start to discover this kind of new way for me of singing, that I came kind of natural to put that in that, because I've always when we've been writing music, it's always it was one of the biggest critiques or bad judgments we got from our metal band Arkaid, that our music was way too. Sometime we play almost metal core, and sometimes
Mhm.
with death metal, and sometimes we play almost bluesy metal. And people say you have to pick one
Ah,
genre.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah,
I personally, if you want I hate that. And but I know this you're not death metal, and this when you're not true death metal, and you're not true
yeah,
that. And I I honestly hate that, because why do I have to make a choice? Why can I love pop music, and I like industrial metal, and and
mm,
why
yeah,
is it so you know back to the age thing. I grew up,
Yeah.
with a poppers, and you can only listen to the Cure, and when you're a goth guy, and when but you don't cannot love the pop music, because then you're not true goth anymore, or whatever.
yeah.
I really hate that. Why? Who's restricting? This means, just put it in a diet or something. You can only eat potatoes, because only potatoes, nothing else.
Because
And
potatoes rock,
exactly, because potatoes are metal, mashed potatoes.
and current
Yeah.
sucks.
You eat fucking
Exactly.
rice, dude.
Yeah,
Rice.
rise, right?
Get out of
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you see, this is, it would be ridiculous in every other thing. Like you say, I only love action movies, because action movies is the only true thing, and whatever. I guess I'm preaching to the choir. I don't have to tell you that this
I
is
really
really
agree.
stupid, and but I have to admit, sometimes it's you need some labels, like I told you, I'm a radio DJ, so I have my genres I like the most, and then
Mm,
I have also, of course, fringe things, that I play pop music, or really death metal or black metal or whatever,
mm,
if I like it, why not? But
sure.
the problem today is, and we can go into a completely different subject, is that everyone today, that's a good thing, can make music and can distribute it. It's you can make a song on your iPhone and send it out, and potentially millions can find it. But the problem is, because everyone can do that, everyone does. And then you
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
you get an avalanche of shit, and really not good music. And I don't know about you. I honestly get offended if you send me bad music. And
Yeah.
with bad, I don't mean sometimes the recording, it's not everyone has a lot of money to make a good production, and I get that. So if a core of a song is good, then even with a bad production you can hear it. But sometimes it's really so lazy, stupid, idiotic stuff. And sorry, I'm rambling. This
Yeah,
has
we
nothing to.
understand exactly what you mean, but it's hard to put words on it because it's not really a thing you can say or call, but it's you feel it. It's we get you. We get you.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
and sometimes like with the genre stuff, like the thing I get with that kind of critique for our metal band we had before JR Kensington, was that sometimes when I put on a particular artist, even if it's folk and pop or disco or metal or death metal, I maybe I'm 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 acquiring to just get that taste. I'm putting on this band because I want to explore this feeling I'm having right now, and then you maybe get disappointed if that band like suddenly changes and do another thing. So yeah, it's really to have a theme with your band. I absolutely understand.
Yeah, you have this thought about. I've never heard this before. You said it, but you said like bands have record number 1, record number 2, and then the third record you put out. It's supposed to be
the best one.
No, it's supposed to be different direction.
Yeah. Is it the first one is when you're introducing yourself. The second one is the one that you like try to make yourself a whole, and the third one is when you like direct yourself to make a new thing. It's always it's often in that order.
Yeah. No. I guess you all know Paradise Lost. That's a good example for me, that you can change around and still have a sound that kind of makes you unique. And with you guys, I can imagine, we're gonna talk hopefully about it, where you want to go, because you have your music is kind of unique, and also the voice is unique. So you have kind of 2 trademarks. You can go wherever. I mean, I don't expect you to make pop music right away. It would be interesting and funny, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, you have already some trademarks you can kind of rely on, and that people can say, oh yeah, this is J.R. Kensington. This is the music. Yeah, what I wanted to say with Paradise Lost is an extreme example, from what was it, death metal, black metal to pop music and back and forth and stuff. But this is cool, because I mean, you're in music. I think it's absolutely normal for musicians to evolve and to try something out. I honestly cannot understand how AC/DC does it, to play the same riff again and again for centuries. Good for them, I mean, they make money and whatever, I'm not hating on them, I'm not.
They're like a freak case. They are like one in a million. It's gonna get a lamp. Wait.
So AC/DC is like the extreme example of that.
Yeah, it's like a freak case.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen very often.
Yep.
They like
it does, but AC/DC not like AC/DC.
No.
It's I heard it song before. Oh no, it's AC/DC.
It was like this Australian band Airborne. They had like a big thing in 2010.
Yeah,
you know that?
I heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are like very AC/DC inspired, and they are. I like them very much, but they the singer once said that he was listening to the radio in Australia, and one of his songs played on radio, and he thought it was AC/DC for a couple of 5-6 seconds before he realized it was his own song.
Oh wow! Yeah, I think this is gonna not happen with J.R. Kensington.
No way.
No. Yeah. So, okay, for the people, because this will become a podcast later on, so people will not see that. But Spike is wearing a very special hat. Can you say what it is and maybe why you're wearing it?
Yeah. So it's my signature thing. To say, I'm wearing a authentic Swedish police hat.
That I got from a police officer.
Yeah, I got it from a police officer, but don't ask how.
I just wanted to say, should I ask if you got it legally? Okay, I'm not going to.
How do you get it legally?
I mean, you could join the force. You could join the police force, and when you get it legally, it's
it
not
could be
so.
A part of the force.
Yeah, I could.
Yes.
I could try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that could be like a origin story that you actually are a police officer and you just wear it on stage. But no,
I don't think I come off as a police officer. That's like nah.
Well, right now you do.
Yeah, I look like one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Okay, so we already covered where you were kind of coming from. So I take it. So you both have kind of metal backgrounds then. That you both were influenced by metal. Maybe just to close out this chapter, what was your biggest influences as you were growing up, music-wise? Because this usually gives an indication where you are and why you are where you are right now.
Yes, children we are probably the same. We're grown up with Maiden and AC/DC and that stuff, and Rammstein for me. It's the same bands we like your dad.
Yeah, like his biggest influence and your gods will always be Black Sabbath, right? Yeah, that's his thing. And for me, it was actually AC/DC. AC/DC Guns N' Roses were my big thing, and then I got Rammstein, where my like big teenage era was totally influenced by Rammstein, and it still is. But then, like when I got about around 15, 16, 18 years old, now maybe more 18 years old, I started to get more and more influence of the more pop and acoustic kind of music, which and one of my absolute biggest influences, or maybe not influence, but inspirational kind of music. It's like this kind of movie music. I don't know what's the correct term.
Cinematic music.
Cinematic music. Like of course Hans Zimmer and Williams and all of them, with this kind of big symphonic things, which has always for me been a very, very big part of how write music, which is very hard to like include. It's not very hard. I think it's very hard to include in music, but it's like it's always been the most emotional music for me.
I mean, you're more of an all-around guy than I am.
Yeah, I perhaps.
By the way, are you gonna talk about your weird kind of sleazy, glammy period of your life?
Oh yeah. Do you mean with my clothes or
your
my
appearance and attitudinal? I only seen pictures, but it wasn't pretty.
So you can either swipe it under the rug right now, or you can enlighten the listeners a little bit.
Okay. Okay. When I was in this guy's age, okay, now you're 23, right? 22. Okay. When I was in the age when he started in my first band, and you were like 2 years old,
a baby.
Yeah, you're like 5 years old by that. I was, you know, when you almost committed rock and roll to a religion. I was for a couple of years when it was metal all the way. Everyone who disputed it could go to hell. And I wear makeup for like 5 years almost.
Eyeliner. Lipstick.
Yeah. I had eyeliner, lipstick. I had shade, and I had what was the shadow and mascara, and yeah, I had all. And it was like 5 years, and then for me it was only metal. But then it wasn't more like a music genre. It was more like a religion that some people like commit to their entire lives.
It looked like a prettier version of Nicky Six.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like very inspired by Mötley Crüe, but much more vain, much more. I want to be hardcore and Mötley Crüe, but I still want to be pretty,
like Poison.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have not pictured you like this, but I'm gonna search for old pictures now. Okay. Doch.
Doch. Yeah, but I like this dark blonde hair going this kind of emo look.
Oh, okay.
With the dark hair going down here, and yeah. And
we all have sins of a past, so it's
yeah, we do.
And Spike, you will get there too. One day you will look back and see, oh man, what did I do? But that's the way we do.
Do you have a like an era? Do you want to?
We're not talking about me. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to see here.
Know.
Nothing. No.
We're open here.
When you were born in 79, 76, I guess.
76. I was born in 76.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
I just guess. Huh?
You feel me, brother. You feel me, brother.
I feel, okay, 76. Okay, so then you were a teenager in the late 80s. So you were.
But I was behind the Iron Curtain. Don't forget that. I lived in East Germany. So I learned Russian. So there was not so much influence. It was kind of more like communist state. So we had some punks and we had some goths and things. But when I was 14 as the wall came down, so there was not so much youth rebellion. I know my first big laugh was Depeche Mode, I have to admit. So this was kind of my thing. And for some reason, we were available in the GDR, in the German Democratic Republic, the East Zone, where Rammstein is from, so we're also influenced by that. There was some goths I can remember at school, but when I drifted into Scorpions and then Fate No More was my big laugh in the 90s, and so
Scorpion is awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of
sehr gut.
Exactly, but. Anyway, we're not going to talk about. But thank you for letting me join in your conversation. But I want to talk about you because this is a J.R. Kensington talk. And one question I have, and Spike is of course also, included in the J.R. Kensington family. He's so young you can adopt him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I have a few more questions. And one question I have to phrase a little bit nicely, but it's not a bad question. But what made you sing in this particular style? Because I heard from Arkaid where you had your growling and the usual stuff, so nothing unusual there. But how did you end up in this vocal style? Because this is not like you don't stumble over it.
Yeah, for me, it was the exactly same history and experience for both Arkaid and with Kensington. It was like I've always wanted to be a singer, always as a child. When you're a rock and roll child, you play the guitar in your room with a speaker and you jump. I always had like a routine when I was on the bed, and then when the song get loud, I jump from the bed. But it was always like I played the guitar and I was the singer. So I always wanted to be a singer. I always had pretty hard like hitting the notes, and then I was in the late part of the teenage years that I just like stumble upon that I could do the growling voice, and then I like I can maybe be in a band that have growling song, and then we started Arkaid, and then 5 years later, I just happened to one day like. Okay, I can do the growling thing, and like combine it a little bit with music, with regular clean singing, and I think some people call this harsh vocals. I don't know. There are so many terms, but I always get them wrong, and
a bit guttural almost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Okay. So and then I started. Okay, I can almost manage this, and then we did like 1 or 2 songs with Arkaid with this singing. And then I can manage this singing, so I should maybe try to write some music that I could do this singing with. Then I could be in that kind of band as a singer, and then J.R. Kensington just arose from that sentiment.
Yeah, I remember like in the summer you messaged me and said I'm thinking about starting a side project. I got this song I'm working on. And you sent me a demo, and I thought this is extremely unique.
Mm-hmm.
I need a part of this. So I told him I messaged back, this is awesome, let's do it. And a short while after, like that was our main thing. We dropped the other band and we started this.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
yeah.
So it was more. It was more like not like we created the music and then like added singing. It was like the voice control or the singing control, like decided which kind
Yeah,
of
the
genre it
voice
would be.
kind of showed the path where you needed to go with the music. You know, that's very unique because this is yeah, it's I think it works very well and I really like it, and it's so not show offy. You know, it's not like you said. You know, I think the best songs happen when you let the song decide where it wants to go. You know, that you don't force. We're going back to this what we said earlier. You know, oh, it needs to be true that or true that or true that. You just see where it will go, and then it will be right. Because that's what I love on music. There is no right or wrong in music. There's just you like it or you don't like it. You know, and it doesn't matter which genre it is or whatever. You know, nobody cares about
So
that.
true.
So. I have another question, and of course, you know, whenever I ask you something that you don't want to answer, just skip over it. But Kensington, I know you are in Sweden, and from the little I know about Sweden is Kensington is not a very Swedish name. Is there a history of you where you come, you know, or your parents come from somewhere else?
Yeah, okay. This is a question that we can't have in the podcast because
Okay,
it's
okay,
a
okay, good, good. Then,
it's just a made up name.
okay. Oh no, when we take it out. Boop, beep, beep, beep. Okay. No. Good. So let's go to some fun questions then, because you were lucky enough, you know, before. I call it the world is on pause right now. You know, I guess it's the same in Gothenburg. And oh no, before we go there, we can talk about now a little bit Gothenburg. Um, I know we are in the pandemic right now, so there is not much going on. But I just talked today with another band from Gothenburg, so it seems like there's a pretty big scene there. So how big is Gothenburg anyway?
It's like 600,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's but
I guess. I that's just a guess. I think it's 600,000.
yeah,
Okay.
I think it's pretty large by the size. But yeah, 600,000. So
It's
yeah,
the second largest city in Sweden.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
large to be Sweden.
Okay. Okay.
For
So and how is it with you guys that because you have now created a very unique sound. So I guess you will have run into problems like we said earlier, how to bill yourself, you know, and so sometimes it's not easy to find shows. I don't know how it is for you in Gothenburg because you don't know really where to fit. You know, I mean, you're not the blues club guys. You fit there a little bit. You're not the metal guys anymore, so you fit there a little bit, but not really. And you're not the pop guys, so you're or disco or whatever. So how is it for you? Is it easy, you know, besides the pandemic, to find gigs for you? And or how was your live appearance as J.R. Kensington so far?
well, we just we did one concert before the pandemic started.
Oh, only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, only one, and so we haven't done more than one with this project. But the thing is, we talked about it during the pandemic that we are, as you say, it's pretty hard to we should be in a metal club, we should be in a jazz club. That we couldn't be anywhere, but our music from like a difference before from the metal project before, we can kind of adjust our music in a live performance in a way now. Like we could maybe do like a small pub club, almost like an acoustic gig. We just he and I playing the guitar with no drums, we know nothing, and we could all like the gig we did before the pandemic started. Then we was like a full production, almost like a metal gig. We had like metal guitars and acoustic guitars. It was almost like a hard rock gig. So I think maybe this music gives us the leverage to change our like lean in when we do the live concerts.
Yeah, it's very adjustable. Like we can have a backing track and such, and we can also choose not to. And as you said, we can bring in hired musicians and such. We can do like whatever we want, how we want it. It's like we fit in everywhere and nowhere.
I see. So you kind of, I guess you still have good connections with your music buddies, you know, that you can say, okay, can you play drums for this gig, or can you do this and that, so that you can just call them up, or how is it?
Yeah. Well, we have our former drummer in the metal band, Eric Hyberry. He is like always ready to play gigs. He has a very strong liksom. I said a Swedish word. He had a very strong attachment to music and playing music, and he's always ready to join in.
To get down.
Yeah,
he's ready to get down. I get it. Okay, good.
Yeah, and then a bass player, you can always find a bass player.
Yeah, who needs bass players? I'm a bass player, by the way. So yeah. Anyway, okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate because this would be interesting how you make it live, you know, work, because I get it, you know, a small club, yeah, just an acoustic set. I completely see that, but you know, with some bigger venues, you know, you can have some more power or so. I wanted, but what I'm a little bit, and this is one of the questions you don't have to answer. I'm actually quite. You're doing quite well on Spotify. You have like 70,000 monthly listeners, and so. Do you have a label or a promotion company helping you with your promo? If you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer.
We don't have anything.
Really? Oh, that's
Yes,
cool. Then you're doing quite well. You're doing really well.
Thank you.
We would love to have a label country. Label.
We love to own a country.
We would love to own a country.
The country of Gothenburg.
But okay, but we we never got in. No one's contacted us, and we have never contacted anyone. So.
We haven't really tried to contact, as you said, like we haven't tried to get a label.
I don't even know.
Yeah, we don't know. We play, yeah, in that department
we're pretty blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So you're doing very well. I'm really honestly surprised, because you know I'm talking with a lot of your musicians, and some are really, you know, kind of spending hours on doing things, you know, and they are not where you are, you know. So maybe you just do the better music. Let's put it this way.
Our producer, the Petter, som han heter. No, that's. Petter, which is his name? I mean,
Petter.
Can you say it? How do you say it?
Petter?
Yeah, Petter.
That's better than him. Actually, he's Skånish.
Yeah, my son. I'm from the southern part of Sweden, so we're talking.
I could clearly tell that. I could clearly tell that. I could hear. You know, this is a Swedish southern accent. I could clearly hear that.
Petter.
Yeah, Petter.
Petter.
Say.
Petter.
If you roll your R's.
Petter.
Oh, they are. They now you sound like him.
Yeah, he's saying Peter.
Yeah, Petter. That's
Petter.
you.
Petter.
Yeah. He says that. He says Petter. I say Petter. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a very important subject. We should discuss this for a few more hours, please.
Yeah. philosophers lay true.
Very important.
Okay, so Petter at Stig Best Studios, Litfast Music, blah 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 blah, name dropping Litfast Studios, Litfast Music, something like that. He's the one we're doing all our music. He's a very very big part of our
Sound.
sound and all that. What was talking about before I said that?
That you're doing quite well, online.
Yeah, of course. And he's always pushing us to like try to like get out there more and like try. You have to send your music to things and all that because it's like ways not doing it. But both of us are kind of, I don't know, lazy maybe.
I'd have the time and willing to do it, but I don't know how and where and when to do such stuff.
Yeah, and
you're just lazy.
I'm just lazy, I guess.
I've tried, but I give it an hour and I think, what more can I do? But obviously there's always more, but I think you need to know how, and we'd love to get some tips about that if someone knows.
Yeah,
I mean, you're doing something right, because I found you, and that's great, and through my podcast, millions of people will find you, and you will be very, very big. No, finally, you made it.
Yes.
No,
we did it.
you did it. You went on my podcast. No, but honestly, I mean, I mean, honestly, I found you by accident. I was not searching for you. I told you in the beginning, you kind of fringe for what I'm usually looking for my playlist and for my radio show. So, but anyway, I mean, you can say thank you to the what's it the algorithm of Spotify, that it kind of said, okay, you might like that. And I did. And I was like, what is this? I was really intrigued. And then that's the cool thing for me. I'm doing this podcasting thing as a hobby. I'm looking for the people I want to talk about. Nobody tells me, okay, you have to talk with this. And, this is not a job for me. This is our weekend. I mean, you're on a weekend as well as me, I have a family, I have a job, I have other things. But, I always like to get to know people which musics I like, and then to find the person behind the music, And especially with you, it was very because it was so I mean, that's really, sorry, I'm a little fanboy here, but it's really unique. It's really something I have not heard before. So, and I don't need to, how you say, I don't need to, now my English eludes me a little bit. I don't need to convince you.
Justify?
What?
Justify?
No, not justify. To
in German.
To appeal. Ich muss mich hier nicht in Deutsch ist es auch ganz schwierig. Ich muss mich nicht anbiedern. Anbiedern. But I guess you don't know this word. Anbiedern is, I don't have to suck up to you. That's it. I don't have to kind of get on your good side or something. It's kiss. Thank you. Yes, exactly. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
It's very kind of you. Either way.
I don't have. But so I'm really happy that I found you, and that you are such cool guys behind the thing. Because
we're happy that you found us as well. We're happy to be here also.
Yeah, you're a cool dude.
Yeah, you really are.
Thank you very much. And anyway, I hope there will be more of you in the future. We're going to talk about it in a moment. I just wanna finish one last thing, one last thought I had, because in the beginning you said you did the music, and you sent it to Spike, and Spike was like, oh yeah, this is cool, and then you started to make music. Is it still the case that you kind of bring in the bases, or are you writing now music together? That's my question.
J.R. Kensington here. He does almost everything writing.
No, I always write like when you write songs, because you also yeah
I'm a musician as well. Yeah.
you always write the skeleton of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have the skeleton and then you like put it forward. It's like we have the skeleton on the song. We have the lyrics maybe, and then we put it together, both we and our producer, and then it's a song. Mm-hmm. So in the first song, Dressed in Coal, I wrote by myself and with Petter, the producer who made it together, and then all songs by them. I make the skeleton and then we did it together.
Okay. Yeah, you're very good at like visioning a song in your head without needing an instrument or something to hear it. Mm-hmm. Mr. Kensington here, he can actually hear a song in his head. He's made up in his head, and he can hear and see how it works within. It's weird. It's weird.
Okay. It sounds so flattering when you're saying that.
Yeah,
it's weird. Yes, it sounds flattering. It's weird.
Yeah, no. I need a guitar to make music. He can do it in his head.
Mm-hmm. No, it was like when we have in all of our songs there are like guitar slicks, like guitar solos, and like tiny like blah, blah, blah. And then that's the part that he puts in the most. The one that he puts in the most soul in. The thing is, because if we have the skeleton, those are the parts that makes the song like a whole. Mm-hmm. You know.
Okay, I also just went over your discography, and I saw that you have a lot of singles out there, and this is absolutely fine today. You know, because. In a way, you're doing it right because you wanted some tips. Because this is exactly like you should do it if you don't have a label in the background. Because then the algorithm always picks up something new and sends it out to your fans and and stuff. So you're doing it right. But my question is: are you working on an album or an EP or something bigger, or are you just doing singles at the moment?
I'm sorry. We really need to go to the bathroom. Is that okay?
Okay. No problem. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe he goes and then you stay and so we can continue. But because I'm really bad at cutting the video.
So when you were telling your question, I said to him, "Okay, let me answer this." And the thing I was gonna say is that I want to go to the bathroom, and then he said, "Okay, good that you're going to ask this because I need to go to the bathroom." And then he just went.
Okay. Now we exactly he's okay. We exchange. So you answer the question and then we exchange, and then you go to the bathroom and he answers the next question.
Okay, so one more time. Sorry.
So it was, but you only put out singles so far. And
okay.
Are you working on a bigger, like an album or an EP or something?
So we've been releasing 8 singles by now, and soon we will be releasing like a B-side, which is a pretty weird thing to say historical because a B-side is a thing. You get it. But
of the past, I know.
Yeah, of course. And so we're releasing we're calling a B-side like a freak moment. We're releasing like 3 metal songs. They are like inspired of our former band, but with like some kind of new things in it, and like maybe to introduce our music to our new fans and something like that. But in the meantime, we're doing that. We are planning of writing 3 new songs, and then we are combining those songs with all our former singles to make a full-length album.
I see.
So that would be in the autumn, I think, September or something like that. I talked with our producer Petter in that time.
Okay. Now you go to the bathroom and I speak with him. So. Now you can tell us. You can tell us the truth about him. You can be honest now.
No, you never guess the truth. Yeah.
how is the situation in Gothenburg at the moment, pandemic-wise? I mean, how are you with vaccination? You know, my question is more geared towards when can you go out and play shows again?
Yeah, it's very unclear at the moment because vaccination started and it seems to go great, I think. But there's no directions about how the future is going to be. We don't even know how the summer is going to be. But Sweden is very loose with what you're allowed to do and don't. You don't have to wear masks anywhere. You don't have to do anything actually. Like it's pretty normal, but there's a limit in bars and stuff. You can't have gigs anymore. Maximum of you can't leave your table, maximum 4 people at each table and stuff. So shows and everything such wise are at a pause, but life here is pretty normal.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so you have to drink at home now.
Yeah, no problem.
That's the case.
Yeah, okay, that's sucks, but we're still much better than Germany. Germany just has another lockdown, and you're not allowed after, I think, 11. You're not allowed to go outside anymore.
Really?
Until 5 o'clock in the morning if you don't have a certain thing what you need to do or something.
That's
and you have to wear a mask. All the pubs are closed, no clubs, nothing. And if you go shopping, you need to wear a mask, and there's only certain amount of people. Anyway, let's not talk about this because, I hope in a few years when people look at this, we will get bored by this because, when the pandemic is hopefully behind us.
Hopefully not years, hopefully weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's pretend it's just weeks.
Exactly. Tomorrow it's gone.
Tomorrow
we smash the virus. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So you already answered where you want to go, basically. So is there maybe a new video in the works or something? Because the one is from the beginning of a year. The one with the fire where you dance around the fire. It's falling down, right? Yeah, it was falling down.
The game.
I know the game. Yeah, the game.
The game.
The game.
100% will do another video in the future, but it's nothing we discussed. But but it will happen, of course.
Okay.
I told him about the album.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Maybe with the album we will make a new video. I guess maybe.
Yeah, let's decide it now. It's done.
Yeah.
New video.
Okay, do the one more time. The big heresy.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the movie.
It's not Disney fan.
Yeah, I'm not a child.
Fan. Hey, yes, you are. You're like. Oh man.
Okay.
Anyway.
So yeah, I'm actually through with all the things I wanted to ask you. Usually what I ask in the end for fun is kind of like if you have when you were playing live shows, if there was some funny antics, some funny mishaps, accidents or something. If you want to share, this is always a fun part of a show. So if you have something funny to share, PG-13 if possible, please share.
Yeah, my first gig ever was with the band Arkaid. Then, so me and the drummer as well. It was both our first gig, but Kensington here and the bass player they were experienced. So I had a very bad cold at the time, and I had got this prescribed medicine. So I didn't want to cough on stage. Cough attacks on stage. So I said, and I thought, yeah, let's take a triple dose of my medicine, cold medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 minutes before stage time, the drummer was like going in circles, thinking like, "I'm so nervous." I'm so
he
nervous.
was so nervous.
Yeah.
He was so nervous.
And I'm here sitting on cough medicine, so I'm like, yeah, I don't feel a thing.
and you're like, if you see the videos of that gig, he's like standing all still, like, oh yeah, this is good. This is good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is rock and roll. You know, you have to have cough syrup or some drugs on stage. I get it.
Yeah, and the last gig, the first gig we did with Kensington, we were all pretty like, this is our first gig, so we're drinking a bit much, and I
very much.
Yeah, and the first song that we entered with was when I Go Down, and I totally forgot all the lyrics for the song, so I sang the first verse. I think all the times, every time they come a verse, I sang the first verse.
When I go up.
Yeah. I like sing the same thing all over again. But otherwise, there was we don't have that much of stories. I don't think.
All the funny stories are yet to come.
I see.
So.
Yeah, is there some because I think you guys also would work well on the big festivals or something, because I know you. I know you now, and you're a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure you will bring the fun to on stage, and from what I'm also a music listener, and if I'm in the audience and I see that the band has fun on stage, then usually the fun comes comes over to the audience as well. So if you're happy what you're doing, then you kind of inspire the other people as well. So I think you would be pretty good on a big show. I mean, like a festival or something.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. No, but this is honestly, I think that as you said, like your inspiration with Guns N' Roses and stuff. I was like, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Guns N' Roses by itself, it's actually quite boring if you put them in front of million, let's say 100,000 people, because there is not much to see. But still, if you see the concerts they did back then, there is so much energy. They don't even have how you say, like Rammstein is famous for their big show.
Yeah.
I mean, people get blown away by it. But Guns N' Roses don't have a big show, there's not a lot of fire or whatever, and stage projections and things, but they still bring it, they still bring it. And I see you a little bit in this vein, that you should kind of, even if the people see just these tiny people on stage up there, they can feel the energy. And I feel, from what I gathered so far, I think you bring it, So I guess you will go places because you just have this energy, you have this aura, and on the other hand, like we are talking now, you're also very accessible. You're not the rock star type, like, I'm not going to talk with you.
Extremely accessible.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're very kind, sir.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Viele Liebe.
Vielen Dank. Vielen Dank. Okay, so if you have any closing statement, now would be the time to say something to the audience. Or I mean, we already talked that there will be an album, and it was 3 songs you put out, as a kind of EP or something.
Yeah, first 3 new songs pretty soon. There will be like a B-side, like a metal B-side, and then 3 more songs later, maybe in autumn, and then we'll put out the album. So you should follow us on Instagram, JR Kensington.
Follow us on Spotify, JR Kensington.
Exactly.
Follow us on
Facebook,
JR Kensington. Follow us on
follow us everywhere you can find us.
Exactly.
J.R.
Kensington.
I will link to it in the description of this video.
Because
That was so geeky.
And you guys, if you don't forget, you can send me the songs, and so I can, as MP3, so I can play them in my radio show.
Oh yeah, sure.
This would be cool. Anyway, so I can do my little thing to make J.R. Kensington the new Guns N' Roses of 2021. Yeah. They came from Gothenburg and they stormed the world. I don't know, I have to put on some some things, But as we have not discussed yet, there's a lot of stuff going on in Gothenburg. So maybe check out what's her name? Left Hand Black. They do horror punk. Like kind of misfits style.
Yeah, you've heard.
Horror punk is
they're really cool. I'm gonna make a special radio show just for them, for horror punk stuff, because they know so many people. So I'm gonna do a special one for them. And please send me your music so I can play them play your songs in my radio show, and say more about Kensington. So thank you very much for your time. It was really nice getting to know you. And I think I will go to the bathroom soon. but first, I'm going to stop the recording.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Thank you for your time.
Way too kind, sir.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Okay.